of all, we need to label what all these different vector parts are. So we know everything and we know where it goes. So we're going to use a triangle. I'm just going to use this triangle here. And the reason is this is what it's going to look like on the test because I'm terrible at Microsoft Word and I can't get the triangle to be in the other direction. So there you go. So some standard triangle. A is always the bottom. B is always the vertical. C is always the hypotenuse, and theta is always this angle, the angle between A and C. Always. Okay? So, A is always x. B is always y. C is always the resultant. As I mentioned, theta is always the angle between A and C. Always. So, how do I go about solving this? So, we already showed how to solve it. You use the Pythagorean theorem. If you want to find the third side of a triangle, you use the Pythagorean theorem. So the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So let's go ahead and do that for number 7. Let's go ahead and do that. So number 7 had this triangle here. This was 80. This was 20. I don't know what this value is. So 80 squared plus 20 squared equals c squared. So go ahead and do this with me just to make sure you get the right answer. This one should be pretty straightforward. The next one will not be. So 80 squared plus 20 squared gives me 6,800. That's equal to c squared. I don't want c squared. I want just c. So square root both sides, get just c. So square root of the answer I just got, 82.5. Now I know what you're saying to yourself. You're saying, Mr. B, this is easy. You made me believe this was hard. This is not hard. I know how to do. I've done this. This is easy. See, here's the problem. Vectors are magnitude and direction. So is this a positive 82.5 or a negative 82.5? I guess it's positive. But positive means forward. Is it going just forward? No. It's going forward and up. We have to find the angle. We have to find theta. Yep. Yep. So, how do we find the resultant vector in the angle? Here's how we find the resultant vector. How do we find the angle? We find the angle using our good friends sine, cosine, and tangent. Now, if you do not remember sine, cosine, and tangent, or, even better, have never seen them before, here's what they are. Okay. So, first of all, what do you need to know about sine, cosine, and tangent? Do you need to know where it comes from? No. Do you need to know what it stands for? No. Do you need to know how to do it? Yes. Do you need to memorize them? No. I'm going to give you this exact thing. Okay, you don't have to memorize them. So the SOHCAHTOA thing, you don't have to memorize it. Okay. And we're not even going to use outside, inside, adjacent. We're going to use A, B, and C still. We're going to use A, B, and C still. So sine is B over C equals sine theta. Cosine theta equals A over C. Tangent theta equals B over A. If you need to know what these things are, they're just a way to relate the angles of a triangle to the sides of a triangle. It turns out that right triangles have very set ratios between these sides and the angles. And so using those ratios, we created these three things, sine, cosine, and tangent. This is a relationship between the angle and B and C sides. This is a relationship between the angle and the A and C sides. And this is the relationship between the angle and the B and A sides. So it's just a relationship. That's all you need to know. You just need to know it's a relationship. So which of those relationships can I use to solve for angle? Well, the answer is any of them. Because I know A, it was given to me. I know B, it was given to me. I just found C. However, because we're given A and B, there is a best one. And the best one is tangent. So, let's do it. So, how do I do this? I write tan theta equals B over A. B is 20, A is 80. Okay, 20 divided by 80 is 0.25. So now I've got this, tangent of theta equals 0.25. But I don't want the tangent of theta, I want just theta. So if I have x squared equals 0.25, I would do the opposite of this to get just x. I would square root both sides to get just x. Okay, if I had 3x equals 0.25, I don't want 3x, I want just x. So I would divide both sides by 3. I have tangent theta equals 0.25. I don't want tangent theta. I want just theta. So I got to do the opposite of tangent. And the opposite of tangent on your calculator is a button that says tan -1. Now, it is almost always going to be above the tangent button. So if you look here on mine, here's my tangent button. Notice that the tan -1 is above that. So to do tan -1, I would hit second, tan, and that would do the tan -1 for me. So how do I do it here? I'm doing the tan -1 on both sides. So tan -1 of theta, of tangent theta, is just theta. So now I do the tan -1 of 0.25. Okay? So tan -1, 0.25, 14.0. All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you